Hi, I'm Dr. Ange Mack. Welcome to Your Health, It's Personal. And I'm here today with Heike Yates of Hey Life Training. I want to make sure I got that right. Heike, thank you so much for joining us today.
My pleasure, Angie. Thanks for having me.
Sure. And I think this is a great opportunity to really highlight what you do, because a lot of your work is done online and virtually with your clients, right?
Correct. It is now. It has not always been that way.
Well, yeah, of course, now you've had to adjust. So tell us a little bit about Hey Life Training and what you do, and a little bit about your background, how you got into this.
So I've been in the fitness industry for 30 years, over 30 years by now. And I started out, like many of us that have longevity in the fitness industry, teaching dance aerobics classes. And my career evolved because I'm just really interested in what the body does, how the body moves, how you can change or help somebody feel better. And so as I moved on from the dancercise classes to becoming a personal trainer to being a manager in the fitness industry, I saw that, especially when it comes to fitness and nutrition, how you can change the body, how you can feel better, have a lot more energy when it comes to doing the right things at the right time. When you're a 20-year-old, you have different needs than when you're a 50 or 90-year-old.
But I'd like to point out too, you don't just train and instruct this. You're a triathlete. You not just instruct other people, but you walk the walk, or I should say you run, bike, swim the run, bike, swim, right? You do this yourself personally.
I used to stay myself fit by using dance as my method to do salsa dancing, and I danced for days and hours, it seems.
I know. I think that's where I first met you, right? The salsa scene.
The salsa scene, yes, so much fun. But then I was exposed. I had all this knowledge at my fingertips, and I remember very well when I was in my mid-30s. One of my clients said she had a ticket to the Cherry Blossom 10 miler. And at this point, I'd run 3 miles at the most. So I was like running, yeah, not so much dancing. Oh yeah. And I said, hey, I can run it for you. Not a problem. And so I ran it, and it was fantastic. And I was so excited about it that I ended up signing up for the Marine Corps Marathon.
It opened up a whole new world for you.
And I trained with the Montgomery County Roadrunners, and suddenly running became my thing. And my personality is that I always look for something interesting that's fun for me, that's interesting, that's different. And so from not only becoming a marathon runner, I dove into becoming an ultra marathoner with 50-mile races. Then I decided that bodybuilding would be a cool thing. So I became a bodybuilder. And so one thing led to another, and also injuries. So I had to pull back a little bit. And about 4 years ago, a little bit over 4 years ago, I learned how to swim. I didn't know how to swim. So don't tell me you can't teach an old dog no new tricks. Yes, you can.
No, and I agree with that 100%, because that's why I got into triathlons a few years back. I not only didn't know how to swim, I was afraid to go out in deep open water because I was not confident. And I'm like, okay, I am tired of being afraid of, going out and swimming. I'm tired of not knowing how to swim. So that was my motivation. It's like, I could swim a mile, no problem. Now, it may not be fast, but I know I'm not going to drown, which is key.
Yep.
I think the passion you bring into this, the personal passion, and the idea behind, you have to be interested in what you're doing. And I can imagine with your clients that you bring on, that you have to kind of guide them into what they're interested, because if they're not interested, they won't stay with it. So tell me a little bit about the type of client that you work with and how you work with them individually.
Well, you have the group that just doesn't like to exercise. That's point blank. They're very honest about it. They are like, I never like to exercise. I much rather read a book. But the other group is curious and says, I'm willing to try. Show me something which I haven't been exposed to, but I may try it if you think it's good for me. So you have literally these two buckets of people that where you teach the person that doesn't really feel like exercising how good it is for them, how the body is functioning better, how they age better, and the person that's motivated to try something new, to stick with something. and not hopscotch all over the place, that every week there's a new class, a new fitness fad, and a new this and that, but something that works for their body in both cases, that brings the results, whatever the results may be, Angie, whether they want to lose weight, whether they want to get stronger, whether they just want to be functioning better,
Sure.
running after the grandkids, or travel. It doesn't matter. So there's really, from my experience, those two buckets. And then you have the hardcore athlete. That's a whole different gamut.
And you work with anyone, or do you focus on a certain type of population?
My population is what I like to call midlife. And primarily in this, since it's such a large population, it's 50 plus. I see men and women both. And in my two brands that I have, one is my Pursue Your Spark is geared towards women only, whereas Hey Life Training is both men and male and female. And most of my clients start around 50 up to about 90.
Okay.
94.
Oh, that's awesome.
94.
And that's it's a great span. And I know with 50 over, you have to really look at specific issues that, come about when you start getting older, things you have to pay attention to, and know that you have to keep working on your joints and your flexibility and keeping those fluids up and keeping the hydration, like all of these things that maybe when you were younger, you didn't have to pay attention to. But now that you're getting older, it's like, oh yes, you have to drink enough water. You have to do these things. Let me ask, so let's say that you have a client. Let's say I walk in and want to do my first ever triathlon, and right now I'm barely walking a half a mile. Is that a realistic goal for me? How would you work with someone like that?
It's a realistic goal. But as we know, or many people don't know what a triathlon entails. Most people think when they think triathlon, they think this big thing in Hawaii, lava fields, swimming in the ocean, and these kind of things. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about a sprint triathlon where you have a 3-mile run, you have 750 meter swim, you have a 12-mile bike, and you have a 3-mile run. That is doable. And
Yes.
why is that doable? Because you start with baby steps. And if you're already walking, that means you're already off the couch. You're ahead of a lot of other people that would like to achieve something more challenging or different in their lives. Go
ahead, finish
as you come in, I would say, awesome, let me show you where we start. And we would assess, first off, your physical condition. You barely walk a mile, but what else can you do? Can you do maybe a Pilates roll up? Can you do 5 push-ups? I don't know. You're from Adam, so I get to know you.
Bend over and tie my shoes. I can do that on a good day.
See, hey, that's a good one, because a lot of people cannot do that because they have herniated discs, and not just because of the flexibility of the hamstring. So different issues when you look at that.
Right. So that's great. Do you encourage people to come with a goal, or is a goal something you can work on someone with, as they come in and learn about? Give me some ideas of some of your client practices. Why would someone want to come to you over another health and nutrition coach?
Because I'm the no bullshit coach.
Yeah.
I tell you what you can or you cannot do. I will always be on the sidelines as your biggest cheerleader and the one that gives you the kick in the booty if you need it. But I'm here to help you, not to take your money. I am here to show you, from all the 30 years I've learned and practiced and experienced, what works and what doesn't work. So I want to give my client what works now. No gimmicks, no crazy diets, no extreme this or that and the other. In my point of view, it's baby steps and things that make sense. And if you come in with a goal and you get towards that goal and say, this is really not what I want to do, we'll pivot. We'll pivot into something else, something that may be better.
Keep them engaged, keep them interested. And no bullshit. I think we got the name of our interview. You're the no bullshit coach. So we got that down, which is great. I mean, I think people, sometimes you just need a little bit of a push and a little more drive behind you. Everybody gets up, and I mean, who wants to get up and work out in the morning? Who actually, there are very few, I think, that wake and say, hey, I just love this day. I'm going to go to the gym. My key is I just don't think about it. I get up and it's a habit. I go and I do my workout. If I thought too much about it, I would think myself right out of it. So it's, I think
especially
it's a habit. Mm-hmm.
And especially now that we're all working from home, you can talk yourself out of working on your project that you're working on and not go to exercise and say, oh, I'm going to do this in 2 hours. And then the day goes by and you do nothing.
Yes, and you can get tireder and tireder as the day goes on. So you're working with people now as they're quarantined at home, and do you bring them into like a video session like this and work with them? Do you send them an application or something to fill out? If someone wanted to get started with you, how would they get a consult and go forward?
You would email me and say you're interested in either a one-on-one training opportunity or a 4-week group of 4-week coaching. It's not a group coaching. It's an individual program that I would write for you, or a 12-week program that I individually write for you. And based on your needs, based on your abilities and the equipment that's available to you. But first I want to talk to you. So I have a consultation call. So you would say, hey, Heike, I'm interested in training with you. Here is what I like to achieve, and maybe a little bit about what you're doing right now or whatever. If not, then we'll go into that in a conversation, because it's always so nice when you get to meet your client and then you can actually put a face to the email and say, oh, it's you. Cool.
Very nice, very nice. So it's all individual, so they can email you. And I saw that you had your email address there signed. Will you hold up your email sign so people can see that? Yes. So
this is on my website.
So that's your website. Okay. And through the website, they can get your email.
Then get right to the email. You can also see what programs I have to offer, what might interest you about me, who I am, and more in depth, and see a little bit about my podcast, the Pursue Your Spark podcast. If you go to heikeyates.com, my women only brand of Pursue Your Spark, then you will find the 4-week lean out program. That is a group program where you work with a bunch of other women on getting in shape, tuning up your fitness, and applying intermittent fasting in a 4-week group coaching program where you get the program, and then we'll meet on Facebook and we hash out the questions.
Yeah, you motivate one another. You they're kind of like you motivate one another and support one another as you go through these 4 weeks. I love that idea. That is great, because sometimes when you're feeling a little low, it's good to be able to have a group to go to and say, hey, I was feeling that way too. Let's do this together. So
yeah, absolutely.
Very nice, very nice. Well, Heike, thank you so much for joining me today. I mean, you and I have been friends for quite a long time. We met through the dance scene. We've seen what each other has done just via Instagram and Facebook a lot now too. So thank you for what you're doing, and thank you for helping, the 50 and older, kind of helping us live the second half of our lives, right?
So yes, absolutely.
And I think actually for me, it'll be the better half of my life, just with regards to fitness, health, wisdom, the whole 9 yards. So
yes.
Again, thank you for having me interview you. Good luck during this time. Stay well. And if people want to get in touch with Heike, I will put her information in the YouTube, and I will also put it on my blog spot so you can find it and find her. Of course, she has the Instagram as well. You can follow her there and see what she does throughout the week to keep her and her clients in shape and happy and healthy. Thank you.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me, Angie.